season that has had a lot of ups and many more downs.
The storylines piling up on these Cowboys. Players are talking anonymously to reporters. They don't know what they're doing, and they're bad at their jobs.
Where there is negativity out there, I think it's important to handle things as men.
Where would you have a leadership void? Is it an experience void? Is it a talent void?
Going to throw deep down the field. The guy's wide open.
Goodbye.
Everybody gets a big play. I mean, we've seen too much of this for too long.
When I go into the locker room, there's no leadership void.
Not saying he's going to get fired, not saying he should be fired.
This is a bad football team.
All right, Ian Rappaport, you were kind enough to call in my show just a couple of days ago, and we were having this very conversation about the Dallas Cowboys and if they're sellers or buyers, or if Sunday night has anything to do with it, or the fact that this is a division that still can be won despite their 2-5 record. What do you make of all the releases that we saw this week?
Rich, they tried to be sellers. They ended up selling Everson Griffin to the Detroit Lions just for a conditional 6th-round pick. We're not able to trade Dontari Poe. We're not able to trade Darryl Worley. So they cut both of those guys. And the reason they jettisoned 3 veterans, Rich, was not to send a message. And I talked to a high-ranking Cowboys source about this yesterday. It was just to get some fresh, new faces on the field. It's about going younger, maybe getting a little bit faster, and just getting rid of some guys who are just not performing. And they really do believe that the infusion of some youth will help today. For instance, you're going to see Randy Gregory get a little more snaps on the edge. They believe that is going to help. And, you know, it's obvious that the defense has been a problem. Last-ranked defense in the NFL. Run defense specifically, this Cowboys source mentioned, has been a frustration. They practiced well this week. They're starting to see things in practice as they want them. What I was told, if they play like they practiced this week, they'll win.
That's a tall order again with a rookie starting in themselves tonight. 7th-round choice out of James Madison by way of Pitt in Ben DiNucci, which we'll discuss later on. I think, as you could see, Michael Irvin has popped out Champ, the emotional support lone wolf.
Every time we talk Cowboys.
And Torrey Smith says the thing looks sick, just like the team.
I see you, Torrey. Hey, T.
Wow.
Hey,
I mean,
man, what is he talking about?
Wow.
Champ looks great. He looks much better than the team.
Wow. That'll cause Herb to need more emotional support, I think.
Right, man. Oh.
I mean, it just seems like, again, they're trying. I mean, they're trying each week. We do hear reports, well, if we do this, we do that, then I think we'll be okay. And that was when Dak was the quarterback. And if we do this, we do that, then we should be okay in Washington with Andy Dalton. And then we saw the reaction from the offensive linemen not be what you would expect of their quarterback getting blown up by the opposition. And then you hear Mike McCarthy just use the same monotone approach. It doesn't, which might be just Michael, the way a coach needs to show in public, and he might be peeling paint otherwise. But you see the bottom line right here, that the bottom of our screen, the topic bar, is a very dicey question if he's lost the locker room. Do you think that is happening? Certainly, since, again, to set it all up, Jane Slater, our colleague, who I just mistook James Palmer for, has gotten some anonymous quotes from some players in the locker room saying exactly that.
Well, and Rich, I don't think Mike McCarthy has lost the locker room. I certainly think that Mike Nolan has some ways to go to convince the guys to get on the side of what they are doing on the defensive side. And it's interesting that you see guys on that defense that they let go. I know for a fact now that other guys have been let go because they were talking inside the locker room about the defense and some of the things that they were doing on defense. But I don't think, honestly, when I look into it, I don't think Mike McCarthy has lost the locker room, because when I talk to guys, they still think Mike McCarthy is the right guy. They still believe in Mike McCarthy, but you don't get those same things when you talk about Coach Nolan.
You know what? I haven't talked to any of their players. I haven't, like you have, Mike, so I don't know for sure about losing locker rooms or any of that kind of thing. All I know is when in training camp, the reports out of Dallas were, hey, we practice better than we ever have, and it's fast-paced, and it's really good coaching and all that kind of thing. And as you guys know, winning breeds a great locker room, a fun camaraderie, kumbaya, all right? Losing creates chaos. It's always going to be the case. Now, if they start winning some games and getting out in front, I think some of this goes away. Now, as an outsider, and I'm not emotionally invested with the Dallas Cowboys. Michael is.
I am.
Right?
That's why I got
I'm not. I'm looking at it from an outsider looking in. Man alive, I mean, this team was, you lose 2 quarterbacks now. You're on your 3rd. Little Ben's playing, all right? And all of a sudden, you've had, before that, all kinds of players gone from last year's team, hurt and musical chairs, and it's been like impossible to keep hope alive. They got to find a way to win a game or 2 here pretty darn soon. Otherwise, this chaos continues. So it's just one of those things. If you're losing, hey, it's like General Patton once said: if the troops don't care, they're you know, if the troops are bitching, they don't care. If the troops are not, I'll get it right. If the troops are not bitching, they don't care.
And I talk like you trying to get it right.
finally got it.
And you know what? They're bitching. They care. So let's see if they get out of here.
And you mentioned the word hope, and you mentioned the word belief, because that's what losing the locker room is you lose belief in the coaches, that they put you in the position to succeed. And so it sure looks to me like he's lost the locker room. When you're hearing of these reports and you're hearing players talk about, oh, these guys aren't game planning right, they're not making adjustments, they're not putting us in positions to win, that to me is losing the locker room. But the hope is, Michael, you can gain that back. I remember in 1998, my first year with the Rams, week 6 of the season, we had a players-only meeting. And we brought Dick Vermeil down into that meeting room. And it was all these players against Dick Vermeil. And we were going back and forth, and people were talking, and I'm thinking, is this what the NFL is like? But we were complaining about the way that he did things. And it wasn't easy, but Dick Vermeil went out and made some changes. He got rid of some coaches. He brought in some new coaches. He changed his philosophy on practice. And everybody knows what happened in '99 when we brought in different players as well. But the coach made some changes. We went on to win the Super Bowl that year. And Dick Vermeil is beloved in that city with what he did with the Rams. And so there is a time where you can lose the locker room, no doubt about it. But you can gain that back. But it's going to take changing. And we've seen him change some players. Let's see what he does from a coaching staff standpoint to bring back that hope and belief in the locker room.
Well, it does seem to me that the hope and belief that the Cowboys do take into games, you could see it, a couple of hits in the mouth, and that's done. I mean, would you agree with that assessment, Michael? Like first, second quarter after they're down, and it's just like, okay,
you come in with something, and then soon, you don't hold on to a lot of it. And it's not just a couple of hits. They see what's going on also around them. Like, man, the quarterback's running for his life. We can't get a first down. We're putting up 3 points a game. So yeah, it's taking a hit. They get hit, but they also look around and say, woof, this thing